Hey guys, and welcome to Roblox scripting tutorial number 14, skill series. In this tutorial I'm gonna teach you about all the GUI objects. Well, not all of them. I'm not gonna cover UI constraints. Yeah, there are all of those things, and I'm gonna show you all of them in the next tutorial. So here are the basic things that you have in Roblox to make quite a good GUI. And if you are wondering, GUI means graphical user interface, and some people pronounce it like GUI, but I'm gonna pronounce it GUI because these are three letters. So yeah, now we need to find out what are all those things. So first of all, the main thing, the most important one, is the screen GUI, and that is like the whole screen where you put all the stuff. So it has a couple things: absolute position, rotation, size. And size is pretty much the size of your screen. Display order, if you have multiple ones, they can overlap each other. And yeah, enabled means just it's visible, invisible. Reset on spawn: when you die, it resets all those things. Archival, it's not very important. So yeah, now let's find out what does the frame do. So the correct thing to do would be just put everything inside the screen GUI, but it would be a bit confusing. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it one by one. So as you can see, square appeared, yes, and that's the frame. So also start your GUI, you need to put all of those things in the start GUI, unless it won't work. So yeah, it has screen orientations. You can change all of those if you want, but I have no idea what do they do. And there is an option called show development GUI, so it just hides it when you are in studio, and that's sometimes pretty cool when there's like team create, couple people working on stuff, so they won't get disturbed by I don't know, frame appearing just and covering all the screen. So yeah, pretty cool. Now as you can see, it has a lot of options. Frame, and that's only the frame, so I'm gonna cover all of them. Absolute size, just size in pixels in the screen. Active, you can do, I believe it's something related with events. If it's active, it can register a couple events like well, I'm just gonna make a script and show you. Well, maybe not make, but insert, and not the script but local script. So let's see, script dot parent dot screen GUI dot frame, and it has couple events, which are where are they? Drag begin, drag stopped, when you drag it. Input began, input changed, input ends mouse, with mouse when mouse enters that square or just frame. When mouse leaves, self-explanatory. When mouse moves in that frame, mouse wheel backward and forward, selection gains when you select it, and that's all that touchpad things, which are really self-explanatory, and there's a description again. So yeah, it has those events, and you can't register all of them when the frame is not active, so you need to enable it. So now we have anchor point. Well, let me just bring it up, and because there was a new update, there is like UI editor plugin and all that new stuff, and that's pretty cool. So we can just edit UI without changing values, because that sometimes is quite tedious. So yeah, we have the square, and let me just uncheck this, and we have that little square. So that's the anchor point, which is usually at 0, 0 at the corner of that thing. I believe we can set it to -1, and it will, oh, it doesn't work. It has to be in the square. So the value can be from 0 to 1. Then I can just try again. Nope, it doesn't work. So from 0 to 1, like 0.5, sometimes it's cool. Now it's in the middle left corner, not corner, but you see that. You see what I mean. So now it's in the center. It's sometimes useful if you are doing something, if you are trying to align GUI, but I usually leave it at 0, 0. Now we have colors. So background color, you can just pick it like that. I'm just gonna drag it right here, and we have all the colors. As you can see, just changes it, and you can pick the one which looks best for you. And we have border color. So border color is, border is that thing which is like outline of this frame. Well, you know that obviously. So yeah, you can just change it also, and it's really cool when you can just customize GUI however you want to make it look nice and colorful. And yeah, you can make custom one, or there are presets, but I don't recommend you to use them. For example, there's custom, but there are like chat green, which look really ugly, to be honest. Yeah, it looks quite ugly. Roblox square, Roblox round. Not sure how you make it round though, but never mind. Let's see. Other one is background transparency. So you can just drag it, something like bar transparency. It just makes GUI object transparent a bit. And there is border size pixels. So how big is the border? Or the outline. So if you put 100, it looks really big and ugly. We can put 0, so there would be no border. Layout order, it's something in the UI related with UI constraints, so I'm not gonna cover this right now. Position, you see, it looks quite interesting. First of all, I know you have a question. Why is there 2 values? Why is one 0? Why is one what does that mean? So again, let's go back to the script. So script, let parent. Well, obviously I'm gonna access the frame like this, and then we have a couple properties. Those ones are read only, and it's vector 2, not 3 but 2, x and y. So absolute rotation, size, but we need not absolute but just size, or position. So position, and then equals, and there is a special value called udim or udim2. So it's like vector 2, vector 3, something similar. And now we need obviously to put dot new, and then it it needs two values. Well, you don't have to put those brackets. It's just I don't know why they are there. So you can just put 0 0 0 0, and it needs 4 values. First one and third one is excesses, but relative ones. So for example, it's 0.460 0.416 from the corner, I mean from the left corner of the screen. So yeah, it's like 41 or 41.6% from the screen, and well, something like that. And one would be like off the screen entirely, right here somewhere. And yeah, I hope you understood this. Not sure. I'm just gonna show you. Like, I have a plugin right here, or not, because it's in. Well, never mind then. Well, let's just open our UI editor, and as you can see, if you move it, it moves relatively. So it's useful, and I usually I recommend you to use the first value or the first one, because it's let me just expand this. Oh, yay, autosaved. And let me expand this more. So first one is scale, so yeah, it's relative. And yeah, but I know how to explain. It's like relative, and it's always in the same place, no matter what size of a screen it would be. So if you play like on, I know, on phone and on computer, the GUI object will be in the same position, no matter what screen size do you have. So I hope you get this. And the offset is like in pixels. It can be a fractional value like this, but if you put like 50, it just moves 50 pixels, and if it's a size, it just increases its size by 50 pixels. Yeah, so UDIM2 is like universal value, and we can put like 0.5, and it would be so I mean anchor point would be in the center of it, and like or somewhere right there, wait, believe it would be right there. But if you put like 0.5 right there, or 0.5 is the same thing, it would be in the center, or at least anchor point. So yeah, it's sometimes useful to use the anchor point for those things, to make it like entirely, like really accurately in the center. Yeah. Now we have, let's see, we have rotation, so it's like in degrees. Yeah, as you can see, it just gets rotated 30 or something, 0, and you can put big values like that. 1, pretty obvious, just rotates the actual object. So selectable, it just makes it so you could select it. I don't use it, this option. So size, again, UDIM2 value, it's 100 by 100 pixels right now, but you can I usually just put 0 0. I don't use absolute values or offset. but I rather use size which is relative, like that, and trust me, it will be quite big, like that. Which it's like half of your screen, and if you put like 0.5 right there, it would be anchor point would be in the center of the x-axis, and if you put y 0.5, it would be I mean anchor point would be in the center, but if you change it like whoops 0.5 comma 0.5, it would be in the center, like that. Pretty cool. Now we have size constraint, so you can change it like this. You see all those, you can mess around with that. I don't use it. So style, again, I showed you before style, so it just makes it quite ugly. Just use custom one if you want to make like good UI, like really good one, and you are ready to take your time on the GUI. So visible, pretty useful, so it just makes it invisible. Now Z index, when you have quite a lot of frames, let me just do that. Let me just make a second frame. If it's 0, it pretty much overlaps it. Let me just make one with border. Where's that? Let's make 5 pixels, and as you can see, well, there's the third one. Let's put it right there, and let's make it like blue, or just violet, or purple. So now you see the difference. If it's 0, it pretty much that's kind of randomly, or 1 is it index. I believe it can be 0. Nope. But if it is 2, and it can be fractional value, it just like prioritizes one frame to be on top, and yeah, you can make Z index up to like 3 billion or 4 billion if you want, but there's no point of doing that. So if it's higher, the window is more on top, I guess. And yeah, as you can see right there, it's really simple, quite self-explanatory, or kind of. Now let's see, this is the last value. What is the selection image object? No. Weird. Not sure what it is. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna like put a comment right here or something, like a notation, or how it's called, to show you what does that do. Right, now let's move on to the scrolling frame, and it has pretty much the same properties. Let's see, but it has a couple of different ones, so I covered all of those ones, and as you can see, it's a bit different. It has the scrolling part of it. Let's see, scrolling frame, as you can see. I'm just gonna make it bigger, like that. Alright, now it's a bit better. So let's see, it has the same properties pretty much right there, but right here are and those ones, I have no idea what do they do. Well, kind of. Yeah, no description. Now draggable, I believe there also in the frame there is property called draggable, and collapse the sentence. Oh yeah, I mean, well, you can just read this, because I forgot also about this. property. So draggable is like, obviously you can drag it like so, but in the game, and there are events for it. Also I'm sure it needs to, yeah, as you can see it has a couple events: drag begin, drag stops, and yeah, you can just mess around with that, and it probably needs to be active in order to be draggable. So yeah, now absolute window size, not very interesting. Bottom image, there's like something, oh, I'm pretty sure there's like scrolling thingy image like this. You can make it custom one, so that's quite cool. Now horizontal scroll bar set. So if you need, it just creates you another scroll bar on top or below. So mid image, I believe that's the image which is refer that like thing. Scroll bar thickness you can make bigger, like 100 pixels. 1 pixel, just real tiny, so you can just make it the size that you want. Scrolling enabled, so I know why would you keep it disabled. Maybe you have any ideas, but I don't. So top image, which one is top at all? I know, no idea. You can mess around with those ones. You can customize it, obviously. So vertical scroll bar inset, something like horizontal. I mean, you can change it. Probably does something. Position, well, that's quite obvious. You can make it to be in the other side, and just make it a bit bigger. But where is it? It's now gone forever. Scroll bar is gone. Rep scroll bar. Nah, just kidding. It's just probably in the left side. Yeah. But that was weird. Weird. So yeah, that's the scrolling frame. You can customize it, and you can add frames in the frames to make things nice. Now image button. So we just put it. I mean, I'm just gonna put it in the scrolling frame like that, and it created this thing, and this is how you customize things. So I don't really advise you to use this UI editor, because it sometimes freaks out like that. If you want to be precise, you can just change the values, but for the ease of use, if you want to use it, if you want to make GUI faster, you're just gonna use it. You just can use it if you want. Now image button, you can press this and it has events, like, let's see, the scrolling frame. I'm gonna access like image button, and then it has events like mouse button 1, let's see, mouse button 1 click, down, up, button 1 down, click. So click is like that, and mouse button down is like that, and up is like that. Yeah. So click is like full click. Now let's see any other events. Left click, mouse 2 is left click, mouse 3. There is no mouse 3. Sometimes in other languages there is mouse 4, mouse 5, mouse 6 up to mouse 7. At least my mouse has 7 buttons. And if you press mouse wheel with that, it's mouse free, if you're wondering. Just saying. So yeah, it has events, and you know how to use events. If you don't, just watch previous tutorials. Now let's see all the properties. So nothing too new. It has transparency and the image, obviously. As you can see right here, you can make it a bit transparent. You can just make it to have no border. Layout order, not in this tutorial. I'm sure. I think it's like when you just go into first person, it unlocks your mouse if you touch on this object or GUI or image button, I mean. But there's probably a model also in the, let's see, model, no, only in the buttons. So yeah, now it has image right there somewhere. Right there you can add a custom one, obviously. Image color, you can colorize the image. So yeah, it's now white. You can make it like orangish or yellowish. Now image transparency, you can make the image transparent, and you need comma, not the dot right there for some reason. And yeah, it's a bit transparent. Not sure what does this do. Let's see. It's probably offset like in pixels. Let's say 50. Probably just move the image out of the frame. Probably did it. Or it's, let's see, 0.5. Nope. Image is gone. Real gone. Not sure if it is. Probably says right here. Nope, it doesn't. Now is loaded. Of course it is the read-only value because it's grayed out, and you can just check it if it's GUI object is loaded, do stuff, obviously. Scale type, there are 3 ones. Not sure if the 3rd one is actually finished. No, let's see. It looks like so. Tile is probably just divides the image into squares. Scale it properly, and you see what I mean. It just freaks out. GUI editor, pretty weird. So scale type, you can just do stretch. You can just do slice. Just slice it like that. Now slice center. You can just, I don't know, align it, but I usually use stretch. So let's see, now we have text box. So text box has couple obviously more properties, such as, let's see, where is it, right there, text section. So I'm gonna cover all of this. So font, you probably know what is the font, and there are like well, maybe not a lot, just quite a few fonts that you can choose from. It's all from Roblox. But if you want to make real custom font, I know you just can just insert image label or image button, and then like insert text on it, and then do stuff. But it's not how you use text box, because you write text in the box. Yeah, no, that's weird. So never mind. There's text, and this value probably updates itself when you write it. and I know you probably need to either make it empty if you want, and no, just write text. Text color free, so it's a color free value obviously. And let's see, and you can just make text colorful obviously. I don't know, let's make it a bit bluer ish and a bit greener like that, and press OK, and text is a bit greener. Now text fits not sure what it is. It's really self-explanatory. So text scaled, you probably need to check this if you want to make text scale and to not be too small or too big for other devices like phones or computers, or I don't know, 16K TV if you live in the future. Now text size, it's not very important if you use text scaled, but if you don't, you can just make it so it's like text size obviously, and it's in the number. Yeah, it doesn't do anything if the text is scaled. So text stroke, so it's like the outline of the text, and it's usually transparent, but you can make it you can make quite weird text if you want. I'm just gonna do 0.5 because it looks quite, I don't know, oh, it should be 5, not 0.5. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes like this. Text stroke color free, it's like text stroke color obviously. Text transparency, something like text stroke transparency, you can just make it 0.7 or 0.4, and you can make it translucent. Now text wrapped, it's like, it makes things weird, but if a text is scaled, you don't need to do anything with it, because it automatically scales the text and you never need to wrap it. So text Y alignment or X alignment is in the center. You can make it left, right, and there is Y alignment obviously right here. You can make it like that. You can make it like to be on the top, on the center, on the bottom, right there. Pretty self-explanatory. Now let's go to the text button. So it's pretty simple also. Now the main difference between text button and text box, it's probably that you can text boxes, you can write stuff in this text box, but you can press the text buttons. So yeah, that's obvious, I know, right? So these are all the same properties. Now let's see, text scaled, so all of this is same. So the main difference is that you can press the text button, and there's also text label, which is pretty much the same, but you can't press it or something. So yeah, also text box probably has maybe more events. Well, you can just choose it pretty much. So yeah, and you can just do no, you can use image buttons, well, I pretty much cover everything. So image label is something like image button, but you can't press it, and text label is like text button, but you can't press it. So that's the difference, exactly. Pretty simple, and you can make all sorts of GUI if you want. It's pretty simple, although this tutorial is quite long, because I showed you all the properties, almost. Now you can make something nice, as I said before, but I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'll have to end this here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this really long tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.